let it be our gospel. Any place unaenda ukikatiwa nyama, preach that, tell that person, angalia idea zake. Like for instance, in my case, wherever I go, I've made it a point that I must convert people. I must ensure that people are understanding the cause, so that hata ukilipwa na ule politician, you just don't go and invade some spaces that are pushing for something that is bigger than whatever that politician is giving you, because most of the time unapatiwa tu pesa ya hiyo time. Beyond that, you're left to fend on your own. And also on top of that, so that because these people, we live with them in the community, ndio isikue ati huyu anapush agenda fulani, so that these politicians wakikuja kusema ati ni kina nani walikuwa, they are able ati to fish out people. That should not be the case. We should stand united as a block, the same way wale anti-riot police walikuwa na move kama block wakitry kutuzuia from protest. That is the same thing we should be pushing for. Yeah, and on another note, my last point actually, the boycotting. I've seen the lists. Once we verify that these people are actually linked to the corrupt leaders that we have, any business that is linked to them, I would like to push for us to just boycott and resist, so that these people are not only stealing from us, wanatuibia, wanaeka biashara na bado wanaturudia tena to take the little that we have. So I'll urge for us to continue with that, and thank you so much, and back to you.
Thank you. Okonkwo, you can go ahead, because I've seen you raised your hand so much. Then either Julie or Mebs next.
Okay, good morning, guys. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Now, thank you for this space. Before I say the few things that I would want the government to do, let me say the two things that I would want us to do. The first thing that I would want us to do is we need to be a bit more tolerant within ourselves. We started a good movement, it may come, it may pick momentum. I feel like at this point, we have gotten some power. We need to manage that power. We can't be throwing it around aimlessly. We can't just throw away it aimlessly. Like I said, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me. That is why I'm asking for tolerance. You see, once the president rejected the bill, at that point, tulikuwa 1-0, like we were on top. We should have cooled down, figured out the next course of action. But instead of that, it's like some of us, we got drunk with the power of what we had achieved, and we now decided, let us take it a step further, Ruto must go and whatnot. And I agree with that. Ultimately, it is Ruto must go. But we have power, and we have to start using it responsibly. That is the first thing I would like to say. Now, just joining something to that is we need to stop attacking each other. If somebody has a different opinion, because we are saying we are leaderless, that means we do not have a channel that communicates our voice in unison, But as much as we are leaderless, we need to stop attacking each other. If somebody has a different opinion, historia, huyu sijui amelipwa, huyu sijui amefanya nini. You see, if people out there see we are attacking each other, I can guarantee you that is why protests zinaenda zikiwa na less and less people, because we are attacking each other. Ule amelipwa, ule amefanya nini, and it's propaganda. No one is producing evidence. We need to stop attacking each other. If somebody voices their opinion, let us just respect it. Tukae tuseme, okay, umesema hivyo, ni sawa, thank you for the fact that you've come with us. At this point, tumeachania hapo, but tuache kuatakiana. The second point, I'd say this. In communication, the message is very, very important, but also the messenger is important. In my opinion, and I'm saying this very humbly and respectfully, in my opinion, we cannot say that we are going on with this movement if we do not have a leader or a mouthpiece. Because we are going to need somebody to communicate that opinion. The fact that tunasema we are leaderless because tukipatiana watu watanunuliwa, it shows that we do not have trust amongst ourselves. Why don't we trust ourselves? Why don't we trust each other? Get leaders. If they go out there and sell us out, just like we have elected them, we whip them out of office, we get new ones. But the message is important. We have a message, but people, we do not have a messenger. And that is why Ruto is going to be dealing with 100 issues at once, because we are not telling him what to focus on. If we get a messenger right now, if we get messengers, leaders that sit down and tell them, we want IEBC, we are all going to have a focal point. We are all going to rally behind that. And if we are afraid of having leaders because we think they'll be bought or they'll be killed or they'll be turned, if that happens, we elect other leaders. The problem with Kenya is not so much that the systems are not working, it's those who are in the offices or those who are custodians of that system are not living up to par. So tuko na shida na IBC, tuko na shida na hizo vitu zote. We want them to constitute IBC, but we need to think of laws that are going to strengthen the system such that those who have questionable character cannot get in. There are two things zenye sijasikia zikiongelewa zenye in my opinion I think they would be good. The first thing, I would need us to start thinking about crafting laws that would help protect the legislature and the judiciary from the executive, because we are in this mess because the president clearly interferes with the legislature. So I'm imagining if we have more stringent laws, or if we have better thinking parliamentarians who cannot be easily convinced by a president because of party affiliation. Because when wamepitisha hii finance bill ndio ikakuja ikaleta hii shida yote, it's because they were told by the president to do so. So we need to find a way of shielding parliament from the executive, and also the same with the judiciary. The second thing that I would want us to do, to start talking about as I finish, this is the last point. One of the things that we are complaining about is corruption. I think we need to start clamoring for the EACC, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, to be given prosecutorial powers. Because as it is right now, EACC wanafanya investigations zao, they have to forward their files to the DPP. DPP decides whether to charge them or not. So there's a blame game. Ukiuliza tuseme kwa mfano a corrupt governor ameletwa kwa Senate, when you ask senators what happened, wanasema tulipe EACC what happened, tulipatia DPP what happened, there was not enough evidence, go back to the county. Kuna hiyo blame game. If there was a central place where corruption is being dealt with, EACC wapatiwe powers za kuprosecute such that if something happens, it is EACC, it is not going beyond there. They have their attaches in all these other departments when you're wanafanya hizo vitu, but I think that for corruption to be dealt with in one position that is independent, EACC should be given prosecutorial powers. I think that is a conversation we need to start having. Otherwise, thank you for this space. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. And for the people just coming, we are talking about the solutions that we need to put forth so that we can push the government forward more. And today we should not be hell-bent on emotions or anything. Let's just look for solutions. Very important, very vital solutions for our movement. And the mic, I want to talk about the mic. Mic, I'll be giving it out randomly. I'm not checking my DM so that I give somebody that I know. I'm just giving it randomly. I can see Chunky have requested. You have been talking, Chunky, on these spaces. Let's just give chance people that we have never given. Anyone, if you want the mic, just request. I'll pick randomly. Don't worry. Mebs, you can go forth.
Thank you, Kimozi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd just like to start by, of course, in moments of condolences, my condolences messages to every patriot who was lost during this fight, which we are increasingly winning. But the speaker before me, Okonko, said tulikuwa 1-0. Yes, tulikuwa 1-0, but it was 1-0 on the second minute of a 90-minute match. So we are not sure if you are winning at all. Yes, have we achieved something? Yes, we have. And kudos to everybody, champions online, yeah, champions on the ground, champions in hospital, and even those who died. Yeah. So Why leaderless? This is the first point I want to just to add a point on what Okonko just spoke about. Okonko, we are leaderless because we've seen, right now that everybody has a prize. Our power is in the numbers, collective. If you give Ruto, as we know him, one person, you guys just go back, let me remind you, can you imagine Moha Wajichopevu? Moha brought us the story of, what was his name? Sergei, the ICC witnesses. Moha is in bed with Ruto right now, So please, we do not want to put a face in this, or we do not want to say Kimuzi is the leader, or Konko is the leader, or Mabes is the leader, because everybody has a prize at the end of the day, and that is why they want somebody. That is why he wants to find a leader, because without a leader, he doesn't know who to attack. Anashika kina nani Osama na wapeleka ndani anapata kumbe kuna watu 1000 pia bado wanaendelea kuchant Ruto must go. Anashika mmoja anapeleka ndani anapata kumbe umati bado ya watu hapa nje wananingojea. So that is why at this point, as we are fighting for these changes, we need to, yes, Kenya cannot be governed with all of us. That one we agree. But at this point, until the fight is won, we need to have a collective power and to say all of us are chanting the same thing. We are saying corruption has to end. We are saying that institutions who are in bed with the executive, be it the IEBC, be it the judiciary, be it all these places where we go, who are given who are told what to do with the president, that one has to stop. That is why we are channeling forth. What can we do? Tumesema, of course, tunataka IEBC ikuwe reconstituted. Yes, but can we trust the institution under Ruto? That is why we are still chanting Ruto must go, because if he is at the top feeling the pressure, then he knows that at the end of the day, he has to put people who have to come to IEBC have to be correct people. Remember, there's never been an audit for the last 2 elections of the server. Server inakongemeka kufunguliwa. If we open the server right now, we will see the true winners of these elections. Whether it was him, whether it was the other people, we will see, we will know. What we are saying is we want people drunk with power and corrupt at the top, leading us. We are saying right now, collectively, we do not want to see people who have cases, criminal cases, being our leaders, standing on podiums. Tumesema church and politics, divorce. So but we still continue injecting. On Sunday, right now they are crouching back. Pole wanaanza kukam. Wanaanza kusema na kiburi, wanatukujia ati watu 20 walikuja pa kunishtua nini. We are still deplatforming these people. Don't forget. Hawakuji kuongea, hawakuji why are churches? You guys ask yourselves, why do every Sunday every politician with a helicopter land in one remote area in Kenya and contribute 20 million, 5 million, 70 million for a church? Na wafanyangi zitu kwa hospitali. Kwa hospitali, our politicians wote mali wanatoka, nobody has a functioning hospital in their counties. But kwa church, because church is just wash, period. Church is just wash. The problem is we have the class, the age group before us. Watana millennials na Gen Z, what we believe God, our parents, and that's where we didn't need to push for civic education as well. When you are so brainwashed with church, you have to forgive everything, you have to do everything. Watutuko Kimuzi, you can maybe attest to this. Watutuko abroad, you come here and you notice that this is not how it works. This is not how it works. Churches are not supposed to be anywhere where they should just come for peace talks and all that for the country. But we are saying again, tunaendelea hapo, no speaking in churches, no driving with sirens with your expensive cars here, inconveniencing everybody in the traffic. So as we reconstitute this, remember, we have one goal. When we say Ruto must go, we don't say, of course, he's going to leave tomorrow. Ruto is not going to surrender. Ruto came on national TV and gave an interview where he called himself in State House and actually just abused the whole nation. And he did not care. And yesterday sent his daughter to come and, because you cannot tell me that he didn't know that his daughter is going to talk to the public. First of all, as who gives her this mandate to speak to us? She should mind her business. Maybe look for next week. But Kimozi amesema leo si square emotions. Not tunaangalia what measures we need to take. We are still injecting pressure that we need policy reforms. We need leaders who are credible, because we have a constitution that gives mandate on how to operate Kenya. Yeah, so the people who are injected in this institution, who are in bed with the executive, are the ones who are drunk in power, and are the ones who are corrupt. This is what we need to push for them to get out, and then finally we will achieve our end goal of Ruto must go. Will we achieve it tomorrow? Thank you very much. Those were my 2 cents for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Jose next, then Lumu. Kindly. Jose, then Lumu.
Can you hear me, Kimuzi?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's been a long time trying to get on the mic to speak. But thank you for the space. First, of course, is to express my condolences to the heroes you've lost, and I hope we will never forget them in history. It's very sad to see our younger brothers and sisters dying on the street. This, for me at least, has given me hope that we can all wake up and do something new. My second point is to give gratitude to Kimuzi and a lot many other people, Maj, Osama, and many others, Hanifa, who have done so much for this movement in terms of providing the spaces for communication and so on, and so that has been really wonderful. My first point is just to say, before I go to what we should do next, immediate steps, is just to say, let's not allow Ruto to slow our momentum. I have seen the slowdown of protests since the first time, since Tuesday 25th. There has been a slowdown in terms of physical protest, even online protest, and then I think it's because perhaps we've not really been listening to each other. We've not stayed together the way we should. As someone else said a few minutes ago, let's stay together. Let's be tolerant with each other. Let's hear different views. Even if we don't agree, let's be the face of the kind of democracy we want to see. One of the reasons why our parliament is messing us up is because the parliament is not able to do its work of checking the executive, because they've been pocketed, or for some reason they are complacent. They are not able to actually hold the president accountable. And I do remember a time in Kenya when that was actually there, that MPs of the same party with the president would tell the president no. It is for the last, since the new constitution, I've not seen that. So it's very interesting. Let's not allow ourselves to fall into the same trap. At least I have seen that the attempt to try and turn the business community against young people has failed, because it is clear that whoever is doing looting and destruction during our protest is not us. It's people who've been sponsored to come and do that, which is, again, a very sad thing. Now, for me, the next steps is, one, IEBC reconstitution. We need to get that in place as soon as possible. We need to make as much noise as possible for this. People have prosecuted this, talking about the kind of character we want to see there. Let's be clear about this and communicate all these aspects, because we do need to have IEBC for us to initiate recalls for the MPs who we want to send out of office. The next thing is to continue our movement of occupying offices, and to do on 8th for the MOH. Seriously, I'm an employed Kenyan. Formally employed. So you can imagine, I am waiting for this shift thing to start cutting money from my salary, and yet I cannot see the value for the 1,700 that I pay right now from NHIF. It's just ridiculous. So let's make sure that we sit in those offices and we hold them accountable. We send them out of office. It is my prayer that yes, we will send Nahumincha, or I hope that's correct, the pronunciation of her name. We'll send her home, and that will become a lesson for the rest. Lintuli should be home. Waluke should not be standing anywhere near our hallowed grounds like State House, of course, which has been dishonored by Akina Ruto and the rest. But he should not be leading us. He should be in jail serving his sentence of 67 years. But yet he is there clapping like a cheerleader when the president is insulting the country. So it's really, really bad. So that's for me a very key point. Let's continue pushing them. At least you can see them, the Senate trying to speak our language, but again, could also be just PR. We need to continue moving and not hear what they're saying. We want to send all of them home and have new leaders. One thing I would want to say is that within ourselves, we must check ourselves and ask ourselves whether we are willing to take this conversation around corruption seriously, beginning with ourselves, because this culture is so entrenched within us that it is hard for us to hold or to remove the speck in others' eye while we have a log in our own. Paying cops when we are arrested on the road, all these things. We need to start changing that narrative. My friends tell me I'm foolish because I choose to go to court whenever I have issues with the police. But yes, that's the way we should go, because the system does work. The system works. I go to court. I've gone 3 times. I've won those cases. Yes, a waste of time. Yes, because it's stupidity. But yes, yet at least I would rather get that receipt from a judge than giving that cop 200 shillings, because it has to begin with us. So as we call them out, we also have to make sure we are starting there. Next one is civil education. As someone else said earlier, we speak it. I went for a funeral on Thursday last week, and I put my mother and a few other women and a few men who are my teachers in the church and school together, and I told them it is not a favor. It is not a favor to get roads. It is not a favor to get water. It is not a favor that these MPs, when they come and tell you they're doing ABCD for you and you clap for them. It is what they're supposed to do. So we need to educate our parents, especially them, because they see them on TV and they take them for their face value nonsense. We need to let our parents know. And I warned them, I told them, if they're not careful, we are going to hide their IDs, because we don't want them voting stupidly or voting with lack of information. So civic education, let's educate people as much as possible. Even these goons who are infiltrating our protest, we need to find a way to reach them and ask them, is that 500 shilling you got yesterday going to take care of you for the next 5 years? We need to start educating people, on these issues, and them understanding that they could get better from our politicians than just 527, as someone used to call it before a while back. My final point is that the issue of corruption needs a decisive action, and I would pray that those of us who are here could sponsor could sponsor a bill to Parliament on corruption that is more stringent than the economic crimes foolishness that we have right now. Something like what we'll find in places, I think, like Singapore or China or other places, and we push Parliament to adopt it. We force them, like we are forcing